Too late. All right, thank you all very much for coming tonight. It's our December 21st meeting of the Economic Development Commission. We're a little short of a quorum tonight, so we're gonna, well, I guess, I don't believe there's anyone from the public here, so if there's any public comment, we can skip right over that. We're gonna table approval of the minutes until we get back to a quorum, and we'll move right into our discussion items for the meeting. Included in our agenda packets, the first thing here was coming up with our, I guess, are we called officers, Cynthia, or is it just organizational structure, or what's the term for it? We have to pick a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary.
Correct. And then we have to go back to the work plan priorities, just as a reminder.
Gotcha. Okay, I had that second, but we can do that first if you want.
Yeah, no big deal. I'm just looking at, no.
Okay. So we have a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. Valessa, I think you were secretary last time.
Correct.
Would you be interested in continuing?
I would be more than happy to continue as secretary.
I reached out to Kristen earlier today. She'd be happy to continue as vice chair. I'm happy to continue as chair unless someone else would like to do it, Nancy or Lane.
I am happy to have you continue as chair, sir.
All right.
I'm good with you doing it, Steve.
Thank you, Nancy.
I
I don't know if we can officially move this, so is it just kind of a fiat, or do we have to vote at our next meeting?
I don't think we can actually without a quorum.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but
well, we'll pencil that in and we'll vote it in next time we or maybe we'll pick up a fifth here in a little bit.
Yep.
The next thing on the agenda is a little bit more important than that, and it's our priorities for 2024. So if you click on the link on the agenda, it'll take you to a new tab that has the work plan priorities. Cynthia and I took a couple minutes to go over our priorities from 2023 and update those, and that's where we came up with this list. This does not have to be our work plan. We're just using it as a basis for discussion. It's similar, very similar to what we did in 2023, just kind of updating it and changing it to focus on similar, almost the same, but slightly different stuff. So I thought we'd take a couple minutes just to go through here to make sure we're lining ourselves up in the right direction for the coming year. We broke it out into the 3 different subcommittees: business outreach and support, or business support and outreach, development project review, and governance. The first one, business support and outreach. The first thing that we have on here is something that hopefully we'll do a lot more of in 2024, and that's the ongoing business visits with business owners, which we did a fair number of those this year. I think we had 6 or 7 of them, which is great, but it would be even better if we can get more of those done next year. So, and I think that's kind of what helps us, not only with credibility, but with maintaining a real pulse on what's going on, and that's just getting out and talking to people in our town and business owners and finding out what is a challenge for them or what's going well, and you know, we can kind of use that. So keeping those going would be kind of at the forefront. Contacting businesses that have left. This is something we've had on our list for a while. We just haven't done yet. But I think this would be really, really interesting if we could find a couple of these, just to find out what are some of our weaknesses. What are some of the things that are not going well for businesses here in our town. Continuing to provide input on content for economic development EDC web pages on the town website, and we've been doing a little bit of that. I know we did a kind of a review of that. I don't know if it was the beginning of last year or the end of the year before, but continuing our work on that, and then working to provide social media content to help promote Mansfield businesses. And then we kind of left as like a 5th point, helping to lead the effort for the Mansfield Cultural District, if that is something that ends up coming about based upon these focus groups that we're having in info sessions, if Mansfield decides this is something we're going to pursue, this would be something that we would help champion. Does anyone have any thoughts on any of that? Good, bad, indifferent, stuff we missed, stuff you want to change?
I think it's good. I would just, one thing I would throw in is I would love to be able to participate in any of the meetings with businesses. The thing that's difficult for me is setting them up. If it were possible for somebody else to set them up, like, go to this place at 9:30 on Monday morning and meet with so-and-so, that would make it much more possible for me to do. So
Sure.
Just throwing it out there.
I'm happy to spearhead that, and I can kind of work in coordination with Cynthia, and we can kind of come up with times. And maybe what we'll do is, at least for the month of January, we'll set a few up, and then we'll just say, hey, we set one up for this time and this day. Whoever can make it, come on and make it, and we'll just see how that goes.
Yeah.
And then if you guys have specific times or days that work better for you, let me know, and we'll try to work around that as well.
Okay, that'd be fantastic. The only other thing I would throw in there is something that I mentioned many meetings ago, but was brought back to me when I attended UConn's championship banner raising ceremony at their first game at Gamble, which is that UConn is leaning super hard into basketball capital of the world for our town, and yet our town persists in not recognizing that, which I think is a strategic error. I understand why we do it, but I would suggest that we might want to at least think about it again.
So as a marketing deal, and you mean like branding type thing, or doing active advertising, or how did you see that?
Just like recognizing it, having a sign or something somewhere, just because, at the UConn ceremony, I lost count of how many times they talked about, and they said stores. And so I understand that's not, we try to talk about Mansfield, not just stores, but they talk about stores. And frankly, the rest of the college basketball world knows where stores is and doesn't know where Mansfield is. And so that is what it is. But I don't know, just, some kind of like overt recognition by the town and not just the university.
I think that's a good point. Is you play to your strengths, right?
Yep. Yeah. We've been dealt this incredible hand, but we're not really doing anything with it.
We're not going to talk about how unincredible it was last night, though.
Yeah. Results will vary from game to game.
Yeah, they've had a great season so far. Yeah, that's probably something, and it sort of falls into that town framework committee. How can the town and UConn kind of more align, so we're working more collaboratively. But yeah, that's a great thing to put on here. I guess it would probably fall under this one. Yeah, so like work on UConn collaboration. Is that a better way to phrase it, or how would you like to phrase it?
I mean very specifically, like figure out if there are ways that we can work into their basketball capital of the world, because it's clearly something they've decided to work on, because it got mentioned, it got put on the boards. It's a thing that they're doing for marketing purposes. And they've got this soundbite of Coach Hurley saying, stores is the basketball capital of the world and things like that. So I mean very specifically that.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, I want to say, like, when we did our video for our own marketing, like, we put in there, less than a mile from the basketball capital of the world. Like, so that was something that I used in my own Hops video. I mean, I think if it's there, they're there. Use it.
Yeah. If they're leaning into it, they're basically kind of doing marketing for us already for free. We just need to
recognize it.
Yeah.
We just need to recognize it and go on it, and like, not be. Yeah.
Cynthia?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, so this week we got a little bit of a preview of some revamping of the town website. And, you know, we've been talking about the economic development pages on the town website, so I think the timing might be good to try to include that. I mean, Lane's right, I mean, I think there is sensitivity to the Mansfield name, the store's name, you know, we're Mansfield, we're not just Yukon, but I think as you and Nancy said, I mean, it is what it is. This is a good thing. And so I think we can promote it. So I think there's some ways I can work with Margaret and Kathleen on that, you know, over the next couple of months.
Great. So we can kind of put a bullet point how to emphasize our basketball capital greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can add that to, I can kind of, you know, where we have provide social media content to the town communication specialists, maybe, I think it's a separate bullet, but along those lines, if that makes sense, Lane.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else we want this subcommittee to be focusing on as a priority for 2024? Okay. Development Project Review Committee had a busy year last year. I lost track of how many different things we reviewed. It was a lot, though. We wrote a bunch of letters. So continuing to review the draft regulations and reviewing development proposals. I don't know that there's a whole lot here that we need to change, but certainly if people have any ideas on things we should change or add, now is a good time for that input.
I'd just like to point out that that the number of new things being built in stores is we didn't cause it, right? But we helped it. So I just want to recognize the success of all that.
It's been an impressive couple of years for sure. So
yeah.
All right, and then governance. I guess we'll take a quick minute here to announce that we have our 9th board member. So we have a full commission, or 9th commissioner. Dwight Coder just joined. He was a graduate of the Mansfield Government Academy. And I bumped into him, had a nice chat with him, and found out he has an interest in small businesses and passionate about our town. And I said, well, I really hope you'll consider joining the EDC. And he did. He submitted his application and went through Ryan, and we have our 9th commissioner. So we have full membership, which is very exciting, and also a little bit ironic that we're short tonight. But it's a busy time of the year for everyone, and I know people that aren't here had very good and legitimate reasons why they were unable to make it here. So hopefully it'll be a full commission back in January. And then the other thing that this governance committee does is develop the yearly budget priorities, which I think we'll have for the next meeting, Cynthia?
Yes, so the governance subcommittee's meeting on January 5th. So that's Lane and Valesa. So I'll have something to send them, a draft, and then we'll review and discuss on the 5th.
Excellent. And that's it for priorities. Easy to say, harder to do. But any thoughts anyone has, or we can't vote on it tonight because we don't have a quorum, but we can kind of put a pin in it until next time. All right, thank you all very much. Next, we have the approval of our 2024 calendar, which was attached in the packet. I don't have any corrections or changes. I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on that. Looking good. Excellent.
Looks good.
Cynthia, do you want to tackle the Town Yukon collaboration update?
Yeah, I can do that. So the staff team that's been working includes me, Ryan Aylesworth, town manager Ryan Aylesworth, Kara Workman from Yukon, Robert Corbett from Yukon, and Jennifer Kaufman from the town. So we've been meeting monthly to discuss various issues. Nathan First, F-U-E-R-S-T, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, has taken on a larger role at UConn, and so he's getting more involved. He's now on the town gown committee and probably be attending some of these meetings. So we had a meeting with him that included him and just talked a little bit about housing and some of the requirements in terms of students living on campus, or not living on campus for, I think, the seniors, that they wouldn't necessarily have housing for them. We've talked to Hans Reinhardt with public safety. So we're continuing to talk about what's going on, and especially with the different housing developments, and just ensuring that everybody's on the same page as far as making sure we understand, whatever public safety issues might be out there. I know we've talked about that. I think at the last commission meeting, a couple of members discussed that. So it's fully in the front view of people. And I think there's some ongoing other meetings going on, but I think it's been a good collaboration and discussion, and we've been pretty consistent with meeting on a monthly basis.
Great, that's exciting to hear. Any questions for me, Valessa?
It's on a different topic, so
Okay, anything else for Cynthia on the town collaboration update? All right, Cynthia, thank you very much. Go ahead, Valessa.
you just reminded me, and I just was curious, I saw something about Taste Two Towns. Is that coming up again this year? Okay.
I can talk about it under staff reports if that makes sense, or is that okay, Steve and Valessa?
Yeah.
Or okay.
That's totally great. And then I don't know, it first popped in my head also, whether that first committee business recognition, whether I don't know if the EDC is going to do anything as part of it, but if so, we could take credit for that also under that list of items.
Oh, under the priorities?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. We also put that in our presentation at Town Council, that and the Taste of Mansfield Champions Award and the collaboration we do. Cynthia, what am I thinking of here? Not the Champions. What's the one with the schools? I guess it's just a Taste of Mansfield, really. But then there's also the Champion.
Yes, and you'll see that at the January meeting, kind of an outline with all those different specifics. But
Okay.
yes, so the Champion Award, the Restaurant Week, in Connecticut's Countryside too,
Mhm.
fall under there as well.
All right. Next on our agenda is the cultural district discussion. So we've had two community info sessions so far, I believe, with one more coming up in January. Cynthia's been to both of them. So Cynthia, I don't know if you want to hop in and kind of fill us in on that so far.
Sure, yeah, so we've had two sessions. Lane and Valessa were at the last session and Lucy was at the first one. Really good turnout. I felt that, we probably had 25 people at both sessions. The next session is January 17th at 5:30 in the council chambers. Not next week, but the week after, Magdalena and our office. We're going to meet with the Cultural Coalition folks in Norwich and go over the mapping exercise that was done, so that they're trying to solidify. So the groups broke out at the last meeting and said, where are our cultural assets? So I think we had 6 different groups. And so we're trying to, again, solidify where are some of those key areas, where are they located geographically. And so I'll bring that to the meeting on the 17th. And then at that point, we'll be in a situation where some decisions will need to be made. And Rosemary had put the overview from the first meeting, the PowerPoint presentation. And if there is a decision to move ahead, some type of commission would need to be formed. And there's a couple of options, one of which would be creating a subcommittee of the EDC. So we'll need to have some conversation after that meeting, whether it's in the EDC meeting. I think obviously Ryan will need to be involved too, if this is something to pursue. I think, Steve, when we did our prep meeting, you wanted to try to identify sort of the EDC leader on this issue. So I don't know if you want to do that tonight or wait until after that meeting and do it at the January meeting.
Yeah, certainly if anyone is interested, I think we would love to have as many people involved as possible. But we also wanted to see if we could identify one person that would make sure that they kind of are the consistent face of the EDC at these meetings. So, if we have 3 or 4 or 5 people all coming to the meetings, that's great. But as long as the same person is always going as well, just to kind of act as that liaison and that representative. The whatever group or commission is formed out of this will be part EDC, part Arts Advisory, and then other people from the community, but they want it, I guess it's housed sort of under the EDC umbrella. So I don't know if anyone would like to volunteer to kind of be the EDC person on this one. Brian?
Yeah, I'm that volunteer.
Okay, great.
It was very heavily attended. A lot of artists were there. It was an exciting time, and to meet everybody in the community. I'm all for it.
Great, excellent. So we'll like I said, all the meetings are open and available. If you can make it to the January one, that's the 3rd feedback session, and then from there we'll kind of see where it goes and what we establish. So
I'll be there.
awesome. Cynthia, anything else on that? Are we good on the cultural district?
Yeah, I think we're good for now. Yes.
Perfect. From there, we'll go on to subcommittee reports. I don't believe any of our subcommittees met since our last meeting, so I think that kind of wraps that one up, unless anybody has anything to bring up under that. All right, I'll turn it over to Cynthia for staff updates.
Okay, yeah, lots going on. So to answer Valessa's question about Taste of Towns, 3rd annual, is January 29th through February 11th. And we just solicited our restaurants. And so Nancy, sign up when you can, please.
It's on Tyler's list to do.
Yeah. I know it's a busy time, so we'll send out another reminder. I'm off next week, but the week after, but we have
It is. I
dances.
want him, we're going on vacation, so I want him to get it done before we go to vacation and come up with our menu.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, so anyway, so we're making some progress there. We've got I think we've got most of our sponsors in place, which is great. We will do what we did last year, which is a kickoff event. And this year it will be at the Wyndham Community Center, and it will be catered by Click. And I'm just trying to find the date for that is January, I'm sorry, yes. January 22nd. So Margaret is working on a lot of the promotion with Andy Goot from Stone Row. So yeah, it's you'll start to see some more advertising probably right after the new year. And let's see, we talked about cultural district meetings. So 2 other meetings I wanted to bring to your attention. I forwarded on to you the town's housing forum meeting, which is virtual, and that's January 4th at 6:30. And they are looking for RSVPs. And I think that's a critical meeting as the town, you all well know about the moratorium, which, is set to expire in March. It's possible that will be extended. But this is part of that discussion. When the moratorium's in place, you have to show sort of what you're doing on this topic. So I think that'll be a good meeting for folks to attend. And then I also, Kathleen sent out, hopefully you got the Business Digest, I think it was yesterday. And that had a couple of things in it. And one of them is the business forum that we're doing with the Connecticut Countryside team. And that is February 7th at 4:00 at UConn's Innovation Partnership Building. And we'll start with a brief tour. And then we'll go into a discussion of AI and how that affects businesses. Tim Liptrap, who's on the Coventry EDC and also a professor of marketing at Nichols, will lead that discussion. And then Brenda Belusi, I think, who works in Tallinn on tourism, she's going to go over CT Visit and how businesses and municipalities can get involved on that, on the state's main tourism site. And then Nancy has very generously offered to host us at Hops at around 6 or so. And so we'll be kind of over in that side room there. So that's going to serve as kind of one of our combining sort of EDC and downtown partnership socials. So I think that'll be a good event. You know, Kara Workman's done a great job pulling that together also at the Innovation Partnership Building.
Cindy, what was the date on that again?
It's February 7th at
Thank you.
4 o'clock, and we should be done there at about 6, and then just go down the street to Hops.
Perfect.
And then just, well, I can do this. Do you want me to just morph into business updates, openings, closings?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so Pliables opened last week, and our understanding is that that was their biggest opening in Connecticut, so that was great. They are doing a grand opening on January 20th at 10 a.m. And Nautical Bowls and Action Packed should be open by January. Huskies, and all of these are in the downtown, as I think everybody knows. They are steadily working toward, you know, a late winterish opening. And I'm trying to think, you may have seen that the general store, they are trying to rent it out. I know the owner is seeking some type of community / retail space. He wants it to be something that's a gathering place, whether it's a restaurant or something else. So, you know, we've sent a few suggestions along to, excuse me, Andre, who's the owner. But if there's any other suggestions, you know, let me know, or if you know Andre, send them on to him. I think that was it. If there's other openings and closings that I didn't mention, it would be good to know.
Was
Cynthia,
Haven,
I saw. Oh, go ahead, Dawson.
I was just gonna say Haven Hot Chicken was open last meeting, yeah? Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was, but yep.
I was down by Eastbrook Mall, the Big Y Plaza, and I don't believe it's open yet, but I think it was called Fresh Monkey, something similar to that. It's next to Fenton River. It's a smoothie place. So
Okay.
it looks like the sign is up, but it didn't look like it was open yet, but I figured I'd put it on our radar.
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
And yeah, I went by Pliables a couple times on Thursday for their soft opening, and the line was literally out the door and down the block, which was exciting to see. So hopefully, you know, it was good timing on that to do that before the students left for the winter break. So
Yeah, they really
Yeah.
wanted to get open before that.
It looked like the construction is sort of well and truly underway too. Down there by Eastbrook, they finally demolished the first or the half of Champagne Motors down there that they were going to. Do we know what their timing is in terms of, you know, building and when they're expecting the places there to be open?
I don't know. That's a good question, Lane. Jennifer and I haven't talked about that property in a little while, so I don't know. I know she's off next week, but I can circle back and see what the latest is.
Yeah, just curious.
Yeah,
Spent a lot of time watching those front loaders. Have I asked this here? Do we know the owners of the Hoot? I feel like they don't advertise. They're like very under the radar. With like a fantastic toy store in the back, like so well curated, and I don't like nobody knows about it.
yeah, I mean, they are. I don't know. I'm not sure that they're residents, but they're long. It's been a decade-long business that's been here in town. It's always, as far as I know, it's always kind of been kind of quiet and, like you said, under the radar.
Mysterious. I'm glad they're there.
Absolutely. Local treasure.
Yeah, they used to be Valesa, just so you know, they used to be over in Eastbrook Mall, right, Steve? And
Yeah,
then
you
it
see
moved
where the
over-
movie theater is.
Yeah. But I was just in.
Cynthia,
there
that's
this
going
week,
back a
so-
ways.
I know, sorry, I've been here too long.
20 years ago.
Yeah, a long time. All right. Any other openings and closings? I think that's pretty much it. It's been very, very busy in the downtown. That's been great to see, so. Housing updates. I know across the street, the standard trucking right along. I think we talked about the other three that have been approved. The one on North Eagleville Road, the Wilmerite one, the one next to Nancy, and the one on the old golf course. I don't know that there's been any other news related to housing unless Cynthia, you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't think there's any other updates. I know, well, there's there's one proposed on Middle Turnpike, I believe,
Right, yep,
that proposal. And I believe the public hearing with inland wetlands got extended, so.
gotcha, okay. So one more in the pipeline and then, but that one, yeah, all right, great. And I think that's it for our regular business. We had a very robust communication portion of the agenda packet. With some really great press, not only on our town, but a lot of the business in our town and the eateries. And then just some of the great programming we've had. I don't know if anyone was able to go to the winter welcome, but that was absolutely fantastic this year. Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves made an appearance. There was a polar bear, a lot of candy, and a lot of fun. So that was another really great event for our town. Anything for the good of the agenda?
I just saw Valesa's note and about the lights and just want to credit Ryan for making that a priority throughout the center of town and down into Mansfield Center.
Yeah, they look great. Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll call it an early night tonight. Thank you all very much for your time and for your help. Hope you all have a very happy holiday, and we will see you in the new year.
Happy holiday, everyone.
Thanks, Steve. Happy holidays.
Thanks, guys.
Holiday, everyone.
Bye.
We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.